Hi, this is Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. This is a live broadcast of an interaction between the president of the land, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, fresh off reading the State of the Nation's address. He's meeting everybody's favorite team since last night, the Black Stars of Ghana, after qualifying to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Now, he's meeting them at the seat of the presidency, the Jubilee House, and we are crossing over there to hear what he's got to tell the Black Stars after making us all proud, after defeating the Nigerians via the away goals rule yesterday in Abuja. So let's get to the Jubilee House and let's get a feel of what's happening, because I'm told that the players are getting ready. There's a Jama session. Fenton Tahiri is here, TC Sports editor. Fent, how are you doing? You've had a whirlwind, what?
24 hours.
It's been absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? I mean, they finally get to meet the president. I think that this was really, I mean, it was almost a no-brainer meeting the president after making him very happy and very proud.
On his birthday.
On his birthday.
So, yes. It was a great birthday gift for President Akufo-Addo from the players, and the players were made aware of that even before the game, that it's the president's birthday, and so they needed to put that extra effort in to make him happy. And you could tell from the videos that surfaced after the qualification, he was very happy. He said to Addo in jest that he would kidnap him once he got back to Ghana for making him so happy. And I think that the players deserved it. I know that yesterday, after the game, some of the players, in fact, if we had lost, some of the players would have gone straight to their clubs from Abuja. But after the game, they asked them, okay, how many of you want to go straight from here back to your club? Everybody said, no, none of us. We all want to go back home, because they know that with victory comes good things. But I know a lot of them are scheduled to leave later tonight, and so this is a great opportunity for them, for the president to personally say a thank you, because making it to the World Cup is a big deal. Let nobody deceive you. It's a massive deal. FIFA has 211 members. Only 32 of them can be at the World Cup every 4 years. And to be part of that is a big deal. And especially on the back of missing out on 2018, this one feels a bit more special, especially for President Akufo-Addo, obviously, because he doesn't want to be the one that supervised two failed World Cup attempts. So you can understand why it's very happy. And we expect that this interaction would have a lot to do with what he wants to do for them in terms of preparations, because now we've qualified, it's about making an impact at the World Cup. And I think that should be top of the mind of the president in this meeting. Well,
we'll get to the flag, not the flag, the Jubilee House in a bit there, to hear from the president. Like Fen said, the Black Stars made it to the World Cup on his birthday. In 2018, the team missed out to Egypt, or they missed out yesterday, the Egyptians, who themselves are not going back to the World Cup after getting beaten by the Senegalese 3-1 on penalty. But the Black Stars have made it. They are part of the chosen 32. Now, that full list will be completed in a few days. There are a few playoffs, but the Black Stars do have their place, and they are part of Friday's draw that will be held in held in Doha. It's happening Friday, 4 p.m. Ghana time, 7 p.m. the time in Doha.
Yeah, that's 3 hours ahead.
They are 3 hours ahead. And for our viewers, you need to have that in mind as you plan your calendars for the World Cup. So just have in mind that the Black Stars will be playing 3 hours ahead of time. So whenever the schedule comes out, do bear that in mind and plan accordingly. Friends, let's get to what could potentially be on the discussion table as they meet, as the players meet the president. We don't think it will be a lengthy chat, but what do you suspect will be in there? I'm sure there'll be a few nice things the president will tell them. Obviously,
and I'm sure that obviously there will be a lot to do with his personal appreciation to them. Yes. I don't know if that would come in terms of monetary value, but to put that personal touch to it and say thank you for giving him this particular qualification. Yeah. I think that will be in there. Obviously, the president wanted this. Remember, we had a meeting to raise $25 million just for this. So he will be, I think, a lot of thank yous will be said in there. I also expect him to make a comment on what he wants to do for them in terms of preparations. Yeah. Because, preparing for the World Cup is a big deal. It's one thing making it there, it's another thing preparing and actually competing and making an impact. So I think he will give them assurances of quality preparations and quality support throughout the competition. And I think overall it would just be a bit more of a very casual introduction, especially to the president, because most of these players too have never met the president. The last time the Black Stars team met President Akufo-Addo was before their departure to AFCON 2019.
Yes.
Even their departure to AFCON 2021, they never got the chance to meet the president. When they were going to AFCON 2019, they were at the Jubilee House. He said they should go and win the trophy, come back. They didn't. And since then, it's been it's 3 years. 2.5 years. They haven't met him again. And we're looking at the squad that's going back there. It's probably like, I can count maybe like less than 5 players who were in that previous meeting. So it would also be very interesting to have a lot of these players have a personal interaction with the president, and sometimes putting the face and that power behind the voice and behind that office, into this sort of conversations can motivate these players and make them feel appreciated. It's very important.
Let's go back to yesterday. Not necessarily the game, but you saw the reaction of the players, the technical team, the fans. How would you sum up all these emotions? We've played the Thomas Partey interview. You spoke to him at the airport. When you look at these players, how much do you think this means to them, or how much do you think it meant to them after the final whistle went and they realized that 1-1 draw had granted them access to the greatest footballing gathering that the world has got to offer?
Let's not pretend, Nathan. The World Cup is a stage that has done an awful lot for many players' careers. Okay, so when you play at the World Cup, you're playing at the highest level of professional football, at the highest level of international football. The whole world is watching, and it doesn't even matter if Ghana is playing against Qatar or Ghana is playing against Syria. It's a World Cup game. There are many eyes, and we know what it means when you put up a good performance at the World Cup. So for many of these players, it's actually a dream come true for an awful lot of them, because many of them broke down in tears in that dressing room, having booked a World Cup ticket. Because the last time we were at the World Cup in 2014, in this current squad, there is not, and so there's only Jordan Ayew who was part of that previous squad. It tells you a lot about how many changes. That
is the team Akufo-Addo sent to Nigeria, because Andrea Ayew was part of that.
But he wasn't part of it. Exactly. Yes. There are people who are still even part of the team that were in that 2014 World Cup as well, like Wakasu. They are also kind of part of the team. But we're looking at a team that went to Nigeria. The only one that was part of that 2014 World Cup squad was Jordan Ayew. So he was the only player with the previous World Cup experience. So for the rest of them, it's a new one. It's the first time ever in their careers. And this is what many professional footballers dream of.
And to add that a player like even Thomas Partey is going to experience his first
ever World Cup at the age of 28. That's a big deal, because this could have been the last chance for him to go and play at the World Cup. If he didn't make it, he probably would never have made it. So you're looking at a group of players that are experiencing this competition for the first time. And no matter how you look at it, it's an absolute moment of glory and a moment of pride for lots of them. For the officials, it's actually the complete opposite. I think theirs was more a feeling of relief. Because I spoke to the GFA President off the records, and that was the only thing he said. They feel relieved. I spoke to the sports minister, it's the same thing. They feel relieved, because and it says a lot about the narrative and the conversation around this team. Let's not pretend, there's been a lot of negativity around this Black Stars team.
Yeah.
And so you just know that people were sharpening their teeth, sharpening their march for when they didn't make it to the World Cup, and they would have taken them to the cleaners. And so to make it, you could just tell that everybody was more relieved rather than actually being more elated about what happened. But, everywhere I looked, even for Akufo-Addo, there was a moment of pride for him. I listened to him. The GFA released a video of him addressing the players in the dressing room, and he almost broke down in tears, because he had never experienced this sort of level of football ever in his career as a coach. He's never been head coach anywhere, not at Dortmund, not at the Black Stars level. And he was given the task.
Experience the World Cup as a player.
Yes, and he was given the task for 2 matches, and to deliver a World Cup ticket the way he did it with such a limited time, and to be the first ever Ghanaian footballer to go to the World Cup, both as a player and as a coach, you can just tell that he's absolutely over the moon, and I'm very happy for him, because this will do a lot even for his own personal career. Even if he doesn't get this job on a full-time basis, I think it's only a matter of time until Akufo-Addo is back in charge of this national team.
All right, we'll be getting to the Jubilee House in a bit. The president of the land, President Akufo-Addo, will be meeting the Black Stars players, almost 24 hours after they qualified for the 2022 World Cup. Probably the most dramatic circumstances. They got a 1-1 draw in Abuja to grant them the ticket via the away goals rule and to give them passage to the greatest gathering of footballing nations anywhere in the world. They are joined by the likes of Cameroon, Tunisia, Morocco, and Senegal. They join all these countries to the World Cup. For countries like Senegal, it's another appearance at the World Cup for them. For the Black Stars, they are going back to the World Cup after missing out on the 2018 edition that was played in Russia.
Are there any debutants who have qualified for the World Cup already this year? It will be interesting, because we always talk about debutants making it to the World Cup. Like every year, that's always the most exciting thing. This year, I don't know if...
This year, all the countries from Africa that have made it are countries that have tasted previous World Cups, or they have some World Cup experience. So clearly you can tell that it's beginning...
I'm even talking about elsewhere, even elsewhere.
I mean, you don't find
even in Europe, I don't see a debutant yet.
Who have made it. It looks like it will be a gathering of countries who have been to the World Cup before.
CONCACAF, we know the three who have made it. Canada, USA, Mexico will make it too. And if those three make it, there are countries that have. Canada were last there in 86.
They were last there in 86. So
then you go to South America, you know the top four.
The top four: Brazil, Argentina,
Uruguay. And I think there's a Chile on the risk missing out big time. But Colombia as well.
Yeah, I think the Colombians are even out of the running. Yeah. The last time I checked, we do know that Peru are in the playoff spot, and they'll be fighting for that. They'll
definitely make it.
It looks like they will definitely make it. So a lot of the countries are going back to the World Cup, either after making it the last time, or they were there in 2014, or they were there in 2010. I think that we'll be getting a gathering of 32 teams who will not be
all
new.
Have previous World Cup
who are not new to this stage. And you have a couple of players who have been there at least the last 4 years or last 8 years, whatever. I think it will make for a very interesting World Cup. And the draw is on Friday.
It is.
Even though some of the places haven't been filled yet, at least you know where you potentially, you know where you will be, or where you will potentially be.
Ghana is in Port 4, no?
Ghana is in Port 4. Teams like Cameroon, Saudi Arabia, and co. And we do know the dynamic of the draw.
I think the only African country not in Port 4 is Senegal, who are in Port 3, I believe.
And we do know that the pots have been arranged in terms of the rankings.
Of course.
So if you are in Port 1, it means that your ranking is high, except Qatar, who gets the host privilege. Then it goes down.
So I know France. So it's possible to get France, Germany, because France are in Port 1. Germany are in Port 2 at the moment. Yeah. So imagine being in a group with France and Germany.
I mean, that would be crazy.
You're dead.
And then it's very possible.
It's possible. It's possible. In different ports.
Of course, that draw is happening on Friday.
It is happening
So maybe I'm sure we'll have a conversation when everything is done and we know Ghana's group. But you're still watching Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwan. Citi Sports Editor Francis Tahir is here with me. The Black Stars are at the presidency. They are at the Jubilee House. They are meeting the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, after they made it to the World Cup yesterday, going by the away goal rule after a 1-1 draw. And for those who have missed it, all right, let's get to the Jubilee House. I'm being told we're going to give you a flavor of the encounter, but let's get to the Jubilee House and see what exactly is happening as the president is meeting the Black Stars, who are back in the World Cup after missing out on that competition in 2018. So there you have various officials there, EXCO members, some ministers, people who are close to the Black Stars.
I think they're singing the national anthem.
It looks like the national anthem is being sung. I can see
Alhaji
Samuel Inimado, Alhaji Abdul Karim Guza is there, Sami Kufuor. All of them played one role or the other. Management committee members, or the GFA's executive committee. Yesterday on radio, I singled out Sami Inimado for praise because I felt he also played his part. You know, he found his own little way of helping with the campaign, going around encouraging people to still back the team. And
he did.
I think he was bold with his prediction. He said the Black Stars would qualify. I think he even predicted a 1 or 2. I think the same result that you also predicted.
That you said the day before. Listen, it's important that you mentioned that. I think one thing we can't take for granted in this qualification process, especially for this playoff, is the support that the Black Stars got. And I think that support that they got in Kumasi and the general overall feeling or change in feeling of people towards the national team, that positive vibe is what propelled the team to the success they found themselves. We've always spoken about the fact that if the fans are not happy with the team and don't show their support, they're so heart and soul behind the team, it'll be difficult for them to win. That game in Kumasi told us of a fan base that was now back and fully behind their national team. And I think that drive alone, it gave the players a certain sense of pride and a certain sense of motivation. It made them suddenly realize we are not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for people who actually care about us. So when they go in there, against Nigeria, then you know that they're going to leave everything on the pitch, and that's what they did.
Well, the Black Stars have made it to the World Cup. We'll be getting to the Jubilee House in a bit to see what exactly is happening. But earlier, you saw snippets of that interaction. The national anthem was being sung as of the time. We got you a few images. We'll try and see if we can get you more images from that venue. The president is meeting the Black Stars as they go over their historic qualification. Remember, it's the 4th time the Black Stars are going to the World Cup out of 5 attempts. They almost made it a clean sheet 5 out of 5, except for the fact that they missed out 4 years ago on that tournament in Russia. Maybe we should get a feel of how the encounter broke down in Abuja. If you can get those images for our viewers, the game involving Nigeria and
all of the drama
that followed
ensued after the game.
Okay,
Okay,
just hold your thoughts. I think we can go back to the Jubilee House for the coverage of the president's meeting with the Black Stars after they made it to the World Cup. We'll be back to wrap it all up. This is Citi TV. Please enjoy the proceedings.
To report to the CIC, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. So, without much ado, it's my pleasure to invite the Minister for Youth and Sports to give his introductory remarks. Minister.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, my mother, Madam Chief of Staff, Secretary to the President of the Ghana Football Association, the Board Chairman of the National Sports Authority and the Director General of the National Sports Authority, the GFA ESCO members, the head coach and the technical team, the gallant Blasters, the Supporters Union. Your Excellency, I'm happy and proud to be back here, the seat of government, to present to you our gallant Blasters who made the entire nation proud last night in Abuja. Your Excellency, you charged me to ensure the qualification of the Blaster for the World Cup in Qatar. And by the grace of the Almighty Allah, our gallant men are here, made the entire nation proud yesterday by qualifying Ghana for her 4th FIFA World Cup at the expense of our brothers, Nigeria. Your Excellency, whilst commending and congratulating the Blaster, let me acknowledge that the final hurdle in Qatar 2022 qualification journey brought the entire nation together. We saw a massive support for the team in their first leg against the Super Eagles in Kumasi, as well as across the entire country. Your Excellency, what we witnessed yesterday from the Blaster was a display of brotherhood to fight for a common purpose. In the face of adversity, the Blasters stood together, trusted in one another, lifted one another, and ultimately lifted the entire country. Your Excellency, I would like to thank you for your personal commitment towards this process and eventually our qualification. You ensured that every financial and logistical need for the Black Stars were met. You opened your doors to me without hesitation on all discussion concerning the Black Stars. Your Excellency, I cannot forget you personally hosted a fundraising breakfast meeting with corporate Ghana and appealed to them to support and complement government effort in supporting the Black Stars. Mr. President, if we are here today, it is largely due to your personal support and the commitment of your government towards a national cause. Thank you so much for your support, Your Excellency, and thank you, Ghana.
Thank you very much, Minister. May I now invite the FA President, Mr. Makokreku, to present his word of gratitude to Mr. President, after which the coach will be invited to introduce the playing body and say some few words.
Your Excellency, the birthday boy, the show boy, our only president, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, our mom, the Chief of Staff, senior members of government, my hard-working sector minister, Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, and your deputy, colleague ESCO members here and present, chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee and your team, my technical team, and my players. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mr. President, it is an honor to come to you once again, not only to thank you for the immense support you've offered our association football and our national teams, but to continue a very good history of Ghanaian football that was started in 2006 when Ghana first qualified for the Mundial in Germany. Mr. President, in 2006, the spirit of our nation was lifted through that qualification. And that was repeated in 2010 and in 2014. In 2018, our country was missing. And when we took office, our singular determination was to ensure that we bring our Black Stars to the platform that we belong. The platform where the very best of association football gather to show their quality. A platform that we've always believed we belong. Mr. President, I am especially happy that today we've come here as gallant warriors who put in everything to ensure that our nation belonged to the best platform in association football. Can we clap for ourselves, please? Mr. President, the young men you find here belong to that special group I call gallant warriors. Gallant warriors. What do I mean by this? Mr. President, we played 0-0 at the Bavaria Sports Stadium, but we still kept the belief that together as a family, we can make our nation great and strong. We kept the family unit. We kept the comradeship. We traveled into the Lions' Den. For those of you who were at the Mashoud Abiola Stadium yesterday, you will fully understand what I mean by to play in the Lions' Den. In the morning before the game, Mr. President, I did say that our country, our proud colors, will be defended vehemently by 16 plus gallant men, not 11 on the pitch. Mr. President, throughout my footballing career, I've never seen a hostile atmosphere like we went through in Abuja. I've never seen, sorry, but I'll say it here, I've never seen much officials as hostile as we found ourselves playing against yesterday. But the indomitable fighting spirit of the Ghanaian, led by an amazing technical team, kept our hopes alive. We fought, and we ensured that we belong to that special group of a footballing nation, a special group who will truly represent our colors at the Mondial in November, December. Mr. President, before you are our gallant warriors. These boys have made our country great and strong again. We've always believed that we belong to the very best in association football. Mr. President, and I remember my last visit to you, I said to you that when we fix the fundamentals of association football, our football will come back to where it belongs. We are on the right path. There were lots of doubting Thomases. But just like your good self, we kept the belief. We engaged ourselves and we took the right decisions. And every good leader must take the tough decisions, the tough but right decisions. And this is what we did. The result is that we saw a Black Stars team that we have never seen playing with so much passion because of our collective desire to make our dear nation great and strong. Guys, I salute. My coaches, I salute. Mr. President, the feeling across the entire nation speaks for itself about the special vehicle called association football and what it can do to our dear country. Clearly, association football has a multiplier effect. And this multiplier effect is what we see. All of a sudden, our country has found the energy to stay together and to truly show what we have. Mr. President, thank you so much for the belief. Thank you for the investments that you have made in our work. And thank you for your promise to stay with us throughout the journey. In saying this, let me also specifically thank my sector minister because he's been there with us through thick and thin. Alhaji Mustafa, I salute. Mr. President, this is just the beginning of perhaps an interesting and a promising future for our dear country in association football. With your promised support, with this amazing technical team, Akufo-Addo, Chris Hilton, George, Didi, the rest, again, I salute. I salute. To the Vice President of the FA, who currently chairs the Management Committee of the Black Stars, Mr. Akufo-Addo, Sami Kufuor, Mr. Kwame Banfo Sekins, Alhaji Grunsa, who is missing? Akwesi Ajiman, Kendall Damwa, I salute. To the National Sports Authority, who has always been there for us, led by the chairman of the board, I salute. One more special person who has been so helpful to us, Dr. Da Costa of the National COVID Task Force. Thank you so much. Our victory is a victory for the voiceless. People who rely on association football to have a healing in life. Our victory is dedicated to the masses, the people of our country who truly love quality and who truly want quality. Mr. President, in departing, once again, on behalf of our fraternity, thank you so much for the support. We thank you for the belief. We thank you for the investment you're making, and we believe that this victory will be the needed impetus for you to even invest more in domestic football. And I know that this is nothing for the showboy. To my colleagues in the media, yes, you've been there for us. You've supported us all the way. I'm grateful for all the support, but this is just the beginning. Qatar is the next stop. And we will go to Qatar and make an impression like we've never done. I'm saying here again that we will go to Qatar and will make our nation great and strong. I thank you all for support. I thank everybody. I thank our dear country. And I'm glad that all of you stuck together to make our dear nation great and strong. I salute. Thank you. Mr. President, with your permission, I will humbly invite Mr. Akufo-Addo to join me here. Otto, could you come up? I remember my first engagement with this gentleman. After 2 minutes, I was sure about exactly what I wanted. And for those of you who have followed the team, over 3 days, what we have seen of the Black Stars is something that we have never seen before. Otto, Didi, Chris, George Boateng have delivered something amazing to our dear country. Otto will say a few words. He's always shy, but today he will speak. Mr. President, our head coach, Akufo-Addo. I'm done here for you.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you, Mr. Excellency, for the invitation. It's a great honor for us to be here. For me, it's even, very, very special. More special than the game yesterday because we were not really prepared, or I'm not really prepared. Thank you very much, Mr. Kreku, for your kind words. A little bit too much, I think, but it's okay. I take it. I won't make it long. I think enough is said. Surely everybody's happy. We qualified for the World Cup. This was our aim. And we're looking forward for it. I won't take long. I would like to, the staff, not the coaches, the staff, please to stand up. So this is the staff, the medical department. The medical department, video analyzer, and Ricky, okay, our performance manager. So they worked a lot. They helped us as a team a lot and worked the kitmen, they work day and night. Thank you for your effort. You have highly percentage on our success. Thank you very much. Henry. Then let me please go to the coaching staff. Please stand up. So for my... So in the first row is Chris Houghton, very, very experienced, a lot of help, a lot of good ideas, which we introduced, and it was a massive help to have him around to clear a lot of small problems. Thank you, Chris. You did more than we could expect. Very, very good, exceptional. Didi Dramani, assistant coach, and George, assistant coach as well. I think it was the best team what I could wish. I didn't know them before, but I'm very, very happy that the president had this set up. He introduced us, and we get to know each other. It was excellent working with them together. It fitted. Thank you for your good job and good work. Thank you very much. And then the players, please, stand up. I would like, because I don't see everybody and some are sadly missing, I would like everybody just to come up front. You start with the first row. Just introduce yourself. Oh, you have a microphone there. Okay, and then you pass it on. I think the best thing come at last, and what you did was exceptional. Like the president said, it was not easy to stand firm under these circumstances. Really, really tough. It was incredible to see how you fought. And you really deserve it. I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you.
So we start with our captain, Thomas Partey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thomas Partey, Arsenal and Ghana Blasters.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yaya Boa, Columbus Crew.
Thank you, Mr. President. Christopher Entfier J. VfL Bochum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kwesi Ochiri-Wright, Holstein Kiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Elisha Osu, Ghent.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joseph Pinto, KRC Genk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Alexander Djikou, Strasbourg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Abdelmoumin, Victoria.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mohamed Kudus, FC Ajax.
Thank you, Mr. President. Abdulmanaf Nouruddin, CAS Eupen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joseph Eju, Celta Vigo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lawrence Atizigi, FC Sengala.
Thank you, Mr. President. Akufo-Addo, FC Sheriff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gideon Mensah, FC Bordeaux.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joseph Wallacott, Swindon Town.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jordan Ayew, Crystal Palace.
Thank you, Mr. President. Idris Baba Mohammed from Africa. Thank you, Mr. President. Usman Bukhari, FC Nantes.
Okay, took a while, but I think it's worth it. I just want to mention as well our goalkeeper coach, Richard Kingston. He's not here. Thank you very much for your work. Then some players missing, Daniel Amate and Dennis Odoi, also missing. They did a great job yesterday as well, and we want to thank them for that. Furthermore, I would like to say, I said it to some of the press members already, these were only 2 games, but there was a long path before ahead, and CQR Grono is part of this success, and as well as Milovan Rajovac. And of course, our captain Andre Ayew, and several players missing today. It's very, very important for us, I think, that we acknowledge that, and we have them in our thought. Thank you very much again for the invitation, and wish you all a nice afternoon.
Thank you very much, Akufo-Addo. Mr. President, in departing, let me also mention the amazing role played by our legends in ensuring that our players were very motivated. The legends led by Sami Kufo, who's a member of the management committee. On that note, we thank you. We thank you, Yadawasi. Thank you.
He deserves another round of applause. Thank you very much. Excuse me. I know members of the supporting union or the supporters union are yearning to sing one Jama before Mr. President takes the floor. So you are invited. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Let's Let's join them. Let's join them. Clap. Yadamase Aiko, thank you very much, public, to deliver his message.
GFA chairman and the coach, the technical team, the management team, Mr. Thomas Partey, captain, and the members of the Black Stars. You're all very, very, very welcome to Jubilee House, which is the seat of the presidency of our country. I think everything that needs to be said has been said, but I just want to add my personal word of gratitude to you for putting the icing on the cake on my birthday yesterday. The way these things happen. Today I had to give a statement to the Parliament on the state of the nation. And it meant that yesterday, when you were playing, I was in a meeting with those who helped me put these things together. So sad as it is to say, I didn't actually watch the match. But what I heard were the reactions of people in my office as you were playing and they were watching. And when you score the first goal, there's an Arsenal contingent in my... Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. Chris Hutton and I, we belong to the other side in North London. Yeah. They came rushing in that you've won the game for us. But really, the nation was so elated by your performance, both in Kumasi and also in Abuja. In Kumasi, we saw that the Black Stars that we knew, the committed, skillful set of footballers that we grew up with here, had come back. Now, we didn't see it, unfortunately, in the AFCON, but we saw it in Kumasi. And really, after Kumasi, I was very, very calm here that I knew that in Abuja it was going to work out well. In fact, I happened to be in Abuja the day before on an official business, and I discovered when I was there a lot of nervousness on their part. I'm talking before the Friday. The Thursday before the Friday, I was in Abuja. And I came away with the thought that they feared that if they didn't get a result in Kumasi, they may not get a result in Abuja. And that's exactly what happened. They didn't get it. So we have to thank you. You lifted the spirit of the nation. And now the nation has every reason to look forward to your performance in Qatar. Everybody's going to be behind you. And we're going to give you all the maximum support that we can. The ministry, the officials of the Ghana Football Association, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and all the organizations in the state that work with sports and football. We'll give you all the support that they can. The arrangements that they have made with you before are all going to be properly honored and make sure that everybody feels properly recompensed for what has happened. I myself am organizing a special package for you before. as a token of my appreciation and recognition. But I think that above all, what we want to see, what we have seen in these two matches, is the oneness, the cooperation, the solidarity, right from the management through the technical team, through the team, of people working together for a common goal. And that is what we want to see continue. I'm hoping that the technical team that has been put together for these two matches will at least take us through the World Cup itself. I told the coach, the head coach, that he ought to be careful when he came to Ghana. He might likely be kidnapped here and will make it difficult for him to go back to Germany and to Dortmund. That we want him here. But I would, Mr. Okreku, whatever you can do to make sure that the team stays together, at least until Qatar. Then afterwards we can take the long-term decisions. The reason is that a situation whereby Arsenal, Tottenham, and everybody is together in one arrangement. That's a formidable arrangement. Tottenham is very well represented here, both here and here. And oh yes, the Vice President. The Vice President is also a strong supporter of the cockerel, of Spurs. So let's keep together. And the hunger, the desire, the determination that we saw in Kumasi, that we saw again yesterday, keep together. And out of it, I know something even greater is in the future for us. The person that we grew up worshipping as the greatest footballer of all, the great Brazilian Pelé, said that in his lifetime, he was sure that an African team would win the World Cup. He said that a long time ago, that it was that he believed strongly that in his lifetime, like me, he's also a little bit long in the tooth, but it's not over. And God knows, if the spirit that we've seen in these two matches and the level of skill too that has been demonstrated, kept together, the sky is the limit. Whatever it is that can be done on our side, as government, as officials, to support you, to give you the most agreeable and convenient background, tools, resources to work with, we will do it. The rest is up to you. But what I've seen, I know that a lot of good things are ahead of Ghanaian football. I want to welcome you all once again very warmly to the seat of the presidency and to congratulate you on behalf of the 31 million people in Ghana for the great feat. The chairman talked about going into the lion's den. I believe that was it. And the events that took place after the match tells you that indeed you have been in and out of the lion's den. But the spirit, and at the end of the day, you know better than I how important that is in sport. You've done very, very well. The nation is very proud of you. And we want to have more reasons to be proud in Qatar in December. I want to wish you the very best of luck. And as I say, whatever on my part and the part of my government we can do to assist, we're going to do it. You're lucky. You have all kinds of very responsible and Ghanaian, senior Ghanaians who have all been roped into the boat. Sami Kufuor, one of the greatest players that our country has produced. Mark Addo, Kwame Sikkins, the Grunsa. Alhaji Grunsa. All of them are there to assist, as myself. I am a football fanatic. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. I'm consumed by the game. Every opportunity I have to watch it. Some of the places you've played, I've actually been in the stadia there to watch matches. White Hart Lane in the old days, the Highbury, the Emirates, even Dortmund. Been to watch. I'm a big fan. So I'm so happy that in my period as president, this achievement has been done. So I want to thank you for that. To say, oh, very, very welcome here. Thank you very much. May God bless you all. Thank you. I forgot. Apart from my special package, I have presidential diary. And the Arsenal man, Mr. Captain. A two. There you go. Everybody else will get one too. They'll organize it for you. Once again, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Supporters Union. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And our sincere thanks to the President of the Republic, our father, for his very kind words, very reassuring words, very heartwarming words. And I took particular note of the charge he has given to the FA President, that he should do everything he can to keep the team together. That is Mr. President's charge to you, and I know it's a charge you keep and will never fail. Thank you very much. We are almost at the end of this short interaction, and it's my pleasure to announce that Mr. President and government officials will have photo opportunity with the players and the team. So at this juncture, may I invite, first of all, the players to step forward. And then I'll mention the rest of the groups.
Welcome back. That was the president of the land, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, meeting the Black Stars after they qualified for the Qatar 2022 World Cup that will be played later this year. It was quite brief. We saw them taking pictures, and usually when that happens, it means the event is almost done. Fent Tahiru is still here with me, Citi Sports editor. Fent, very interesting thoughts from the president. We heard from Akufo-Addo, we heard from Keto Kreku, and we heard from the president. I think that the biggest takeaways were, one, the technical squad. He was urging the GFA to keep that unit together until the World Cup, or until just after the World Cup. And then he also spoke about support, and that the government was willing to do everything possible to help the team do well. It's the first World Cup to his name, so I'm sure he'll be very eager to give them everything they need to give a good impression of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have about 6 months or 7 months to the World Cup. Starts on November 21.
November 21 to December 18.
Yes, so that's not a lot of time. On paper, it looks like it's a lot of time, but it isn't. So, like we mentioned before, the address, so definitely he's promised a lot of support. And I think that will come. They will get everything they want to do their preparation. I think the president knows exactly what's going on in the country, so he knows exactly what the politics is like, and that's why he particularly mentioned the coaching angle, and it's crucial as far as that's concerned.
All right, let's get back to. So you are still getting images from the Jubilee House. They are taking pictures with the president, the vice president, GFA EXCO members, officials of the GFA. I can see Henry Asantichum, the GFA's communications director. Friends, you are making your point.
Yeah, so the president knows that there is a lot of conversation about the coaching arrangement because Akufo-Addo was only given the job for just these 2 matches. We know all of the
backroom maneuvering and everything
about who could possibly get the job after this, and all the whispers about Chris Hughton possibly already even agreeing a 2-year contract and what have you. So all of the chatter around the coaching, he knows, and but he wants the best for the country, and he feels that the current arrangement delivered the result. It delivered a World Cup ticket. On paper, that World Cup ticket is worth at least $12 million.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of money.
Depending on how far the team goes.
Yeah, in fact, guaranteed $12 million. They get $2 million for preparation, and they get $10 million guaranteed for the group stages. If they make it as a group, they get an extra $2 million. So guaranteed at the moment, the Black Stars, even if they get knocked out of the group stages, to $12 million. So that alone is a lot of money. E-levy is not even enough for that in a 4 year. So, so that's a big deal. And so I think the president is looking out for the best interest of this team, and I think that he knows that if they were to maintain the current arrangement, it could bring more results, and I think that's a crucial factor that he mentioned, and it's very, very important.
And there you see the president there. I mean, the camera is moving away, but a few seconds ago, the president was in a hearty chat with Chris Hughton.
Both Spurs supporters.
Yes,
and
he actually worked at Tottenham Hotspur at a point as an assistant manager. So
not just that, he played for them as well.
So both of them are Spurs men through and through. One is a huge fan. The other one played.
Is a club legend, possibly.
So quite interesting details there. And then the other bit about preparations. It will be interesting to see what the technical team will cover, because like you rightly stated, the team has only 6 months. If you take away the month of the World Cup, that's another one. That's for about 5 or so months.
Yeah.
Quickly, the arrangements will have to be done: where to camp, how to camp, who's getting into the final 23, who's missing out, and all of these are very important decisions the technical team will have to take between the next month or the next 6 weeks, so they can quickly start to think.
I think the good thing for them is that there is also AFCON 2023 qualification starting in June. So there would already be competitive football going on. And so during that period, you're playing competitive football, you're also still trying to figure out which players are in great form. And this will also come at the beginning of the new football season. So a lot really can change in terms of personnel. The things that cannot change is where you're planning to do your camping.
Yes.
And considering that the World Cup is happening in Qatar, the anticipation is that a lot of these teams will be, and I'm talking about global teams, will be going to the Middle East. So if you're not proactive enough to go and get some place in Abu Dhabi or in Dubai, in all of these places, you might struggle, and then you might end up going to camp in some other country that doesn't have the same weather conditions as the Middle East in that time of the year. So the planning is to start now, and GFA have, I think what happened, we can't forget what happened at AFCON 2021, when the team was supposedly in a hotel they didn't prepare. We don't want incidents like that at all. You need to get the camping facilities that you need, that you want, and that will only come if you plan as early as possible. The president has already said he'll give them all the support. All they just need to do is be proactive enough, and I think all of the support will come. Obviously, now it's very difficult to tell how much impact the team can have at the World Cup. Like I said, this season will end, a new football season will begin. Players move, players lose form, players gain form. So a lot will change in these next 6 months that will determine just how well and how far we can go. However, what the president said regarding the technical team's composition and urging the GFA to maintain that, I think that is crucial because it appears that they can work well together, and we have seen them work well together to deliver results. So if they can agree to continue to work under the current arrangement, perhaps it could work to the good of the country.
When you say the current arrangement, you mean as it's been configured now?
Yes.
With Akufo-Addo in charge, his 2 assistants being George Boateng, Masoud Dramani, and Chris Hughton being technical advisor.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, and this will sound like a very strange question. What if, just assuming, Chris Hughton says, I don't like this arrangement, I want to be head coach, and we can shuffle the rest of the pack. How do you think the handlers of the national team will take that, assuming that happens?
I think, listen, Chris Hughton is still at a place in his career. I mean, he's past 60. He's still at a place in his career where he feels he can still work.
Yeah.
And I would be, yes, obviously he wants to be head coach because when you go to the World Cup and you do well at the World Cup, the credit comes to the head coach. I mean, your advisor, all right, but the credit will go to the head coach.
Yes.
However, I still think that if Chris Hughton turns down, if he wants to be head coach in particular, and he says, I don't want to be advisor at the moment, I think I would find it very strange. You know why? Because I think it's entirely possible for Chris Hughton to still get a job at the top level elsewhere and still play this role of technical advisor. Because it's national team football. You only play once every 3 months.
Yes.
You know, so you don't necessarily need to be there on a daily basis to be able to have an impact. And if he could still do that at some sort of a part-time job while working full-time elsewhere, why not? Because that is still potential to have something, some credit to your name, even at the World Cup, even if you weren't involved.
So you don't envisage any major challenges?
I don't think so. I think perhaps what could happen is that they will make a decision on who will be head coach. And I actually thought from my sources that decision had already been made, and that it would be Chris Hughton.
Yes.
However, we know that the GFA have always wanted Akufo-Addo, and they got Akufo-Addo. Obviously, some other people were pushing for Chris Hughton, and they got Chris Hughton and then put them to work together. Yeah, but one as head coach, the other as advisor. Going forward, at the moment, we cannot deny that Chris Hughton and whoever brought Akufo-Addo and whoever brought Akufo-Addo now has massive leverage.
Yeah.
They now have massive
They have
capital.
the momentum on their side now.
They now have massive support behind them, and they have something that they can actually go with and say, because the biggest criticism for the Akufo-Addo and the Akufo-Addo camp was that he didn't have previous experience coaching elsewhere. But he's come into this team and he's not only qualified them for the World Cup, he's done that showing a lot of tactical versatility.
And of course, the ability to work with the other members of the team.
Exactly. So his relationship with the players is also immense. If you look at the way the players relate to him, it's brilliant. And even before the call-up, he spoke to every single player. When you speak to the players, he seems like a man that understands them more than any previous coach. The other previous coach didn't even speak English. Or so he made us all believe. So you're looking at a man that's been there before. He's been in that situation before. He's played with the team before. And he's a player who played abroad his entire life. So he knows exactly how these players who play abroad feel. So he does have some sort of connection with these players that perhaps some previous coaches didn't have. So it does look like at this moment in time, there's credit in the bank for Akufo-Addo and whoever brought him. And it will be very difficult for me to see Akufo-Addo being pushed away and Chris Hughton being made head coach. Even if that arrangement was already in place before these two matches.
They would have to put that on hold.
Yes, now with these two matches happening the way they did, and Akufo-Addo leading the team and showing a lot of tactical acumen on the way, it's made that very difficult for the FA or even for the decision makers. They will now have to begin to think twice about it. If we didn't make the World Cup, I guarantee you, Chris Hughton would have been announced head coach next week.
But clearly that seems to have changed slightly. But
it has changed drastically.
I mean, I don't think that it's too bad of a situation. You can still have this team. I think, look, from where I sit, I think Mr. Hughton is a very understanding man. He clearly knows that he still has a lot of say in this team. Yeah. He clearly knows that his decisions carry a lot of weight. And I'm sure between now and Qatar, they'll work this thing out and see what happens going forward. As to whether or not he would be, well, I mean, this is a nice job to have, knowing that after the World Cup, this job could still be waiting for him after the World Cup. Let's try and wrap it up and talk about the playing body. We've seen this crop of 27 qualify the team to the World. Clearly not this 27 will be in Qatar. The squad list is even 23 to start with. Not everybody who's here will be in Qatar. Suspensions will pop in, injuries, touch wood. We pray that nobody gets injured. Players lose form. When you think about the Black Stars team that went to the AFCON, and you think about this one, and you think about what could potentially happen in Qatar. Of course, you cannot predict the future, but do you think that we'll go to Qatar with a team that by the time the World Cup comes about will be very recognizable to Ghanaians, or you still think that there's an outside chance that players who are elsewhere and they've not been part of this core could fight and get in?
Yeah. You see, that's always the funniest thing about qualifying for competitions. The ones that fought to qualify might not necessarily be the ones that make it to the World Cup. And we've had this situation many times. And you see, it's not really, I don't blame anybody, because you want to give yourself the best chance at doing well as possible. And to do that, you need your best players available, even if they weren't available during the qualifying series. And that's why I think, even though we beat Nigeria, I think a lot of people will recognize and say that there are players in this team that could be upgraded by other players elsewhere. And we know this, and we're not going to, and that if we had those players, we know for sure that the ones that fought to qualify would drop to the bench. And it's not because anybody's trying to be ungrateful. It's just simply because at the biggest stage, you want the better players. Yes. So I do think that there is a time, there is a chance, a massive chance that this team could change an awful lot by the time the World Cup comes around, because this football season will still end. A new football season will begin
in August,
and before even the World Cup. So we're talking players that didn't make this team that could potentially come in. You're looking at Tariq Lamptey, who could potentially switch nationality.
Kalum
Hudson-Odoi. Rumors were that he was waiting for this. He might switch.
Mohamed Salisu
possibly could come in. And no matter how good you say we are at centre-back, Salisu would...
He'll be an upgrade on...
exactly. So you want the very best in there. You could possibly have Alfredan come back, who we've been crying for him a long time. If he comes into that midfield, it probably will be a starter, and somebody who played crucial games in the qualifiers automatically drops to the bench. You're looking at the attack, and you know for sure that we will need more strikers coming in. So you know that at the World Cup, this team will be a very, very changed team. There is a core, of course, that will be there, and we know that Andre Ayew, barring any unforeseen circumstances,
clearly will be back.
Somebody's position will be taken. So you're looking at you're looking at a lot of players that could possibly be coming into this team, all because they are deemed as players that can make the team better, not necessarily because they are entitled. It's not an entitlement issue. It's about having the best chance of making an impact at the World Cup. And to do that, you need the best players. The best players might not have been involved in this qualifying series, but the best players, if they exist, could potentially come into this team.
Francis Tahiri, thank you very, very much. That was Francis Tahiri, Citi Sports editor, joining me as we took a trip to the presidency, the Jubilee House. The president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, he met members of the Black Stars team, players, technical team, management committee members, and officials of the GFA to share a few thoughts after Ghana qualified for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. That qualification was sealed yesterday in Abuja following a 1-1 draw. The away goals rule settling the Black Stars into their 4th World Cup in their history after making it in 2006, 2010, 2014, and now 2022. My name is Nathan Kwa. Many thanks for watching this special coverage of that event at the Jubilee House. Regular programming will continue, but please do keep watching Citi TV. Keep your radios locked on Citi FM for more updates as the Black Stars start the journey or start preps for the next World Cup in Qatar. My name is Nathan Kwa. This has been a live coverage of the President's interaction with the Black Stars after they got their ticket booked for the next World Cup in Qatar. Do stick and stay. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe and bye-bye.